Friends on the West Coast. I am Todd Obert, President and CEO of Productive Corporation. Very happy to have Rob Lambert, Senior Systems Engineer from ESET, here with me today. We are going to talk about why you need to stop clowning around with a big footprint and get serious. Getting serious with ESET Secure Enterprise, the right size solution for your business. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to our event today. If you've been to one of our events in the past, you know we are all about the technology and less about PowerPoint. We want to show it to you. We've heard a lot of feedback from our customers over the years how you want to see the technology, you want to talk to people intimately involved with the technology, you want to see how it's working in the real world. Rob's going to give you an overview. Today is going to go through a lot of stuff, so I'd encourage you when our reps follow up with you after this event to look at a custom demo if you need it. You may get Rob or one of his peers that would ride along on this, but that is a great way to see, kind of taking the next step to see how it would work within your environment. But I'm a little off track, so let me get right back on. Here's the agenda for today. We're going to meet Productive in 1 minute. I'm going to turn over the microphone and control over to Rob, who's going to demonstrate ESET Secure Enterprise and show us the various aspects of the product. I'll take it back and talk very briefly about software that we love. We have a nice little offer with ESET going on right now. And then we're going to have Q&A throughout. Utilize the chat feature. Ask a lot of questions. Rob was saying he loves the questions. So let's see. He's got senior in front of his name, so let's see if we can put that title to the test. But first, let's meet Productive in 1 minute. Who is Productive Corporation? Great question. Productive is a security and storage software expert for mid-sized companies. We offer dedicated account execs that have specialized knowledge that help answer licensing and technical questions so you don't have to wait on hold or navigate the publisher yourself. We offer tons of relevant resources for the products we specialize in, brief product descriptions, key features, benefits, system requirements, requests for custom quotes, product documentation, all available at productivecorp.com. We also produce content specifically for the mid-market, 2-minute tech guides, P-guide articles, product comparison videos, all that provide a third-party perspective on current IT trends for the mid-market. All of this can be found at productivecorp.com/content. The bottom line is we have the resources to help you. Help at productivecorp.com, 800-726-4099. We're here to help. And part of that process where we're here to help is our commitment to educate you on what's relevant in the market. And we've found that, a lot of people have asked us questions and questions about, hey, who is ESET? What are they doing? Why they seem to have momentum in the marketplace, and what do you think about them? Well, that's what brings us here today. Rob Lambert, who I mentioned at the top of our broadcast, is our Senior Systems Engineer for ESET, runs the North Central region, and he's going to show you exactly why we love ESET, right? We love that it's lean and mean, it's exceptionally powerful, provides an exceptional value, has an unbelievable rip and replace tool just to kind of get started. But instead of stealing Rob's thunder and leaving him, blank on the microphone, I'm going to turn it over to him so you can hear him. Rob, why don't you take it away?
Excellent. Hey, thanks there, Todd. So basically, we're going to run over just a basically brief interview of what our products do. And I'm going to show out my screen here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. There we go. So from here, we're going to talk about what our endpoint solutions
blank on me right now, Rob.
All right, let's take a look here. It says pause.
There we go.
There we go.
You're rolling.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're going to take a look at today is a couple of endpoint solutions that ESET offers. Okay. The idea here with ESET, I mean, it's AV, right? It's nothing sexy. It's not going to, cure cancer. It's going to protect your endpoints from all the bad guys trying to get in. Okay. We all have talked about or dealt with AV in one way, shape, or form, whether it be pop-up windows from years back, even cleaning off some of those nasty viruses that are popping up today. ESET is another way to handle those, and I'm going to talk about why we might be a little bit better than what you have today for a solution. What I want you to take away from here today is that we're lightweight, we're proactive, we're very fast, and we have unified management. Those are the 4 things we're going to talk about today. So first of all, we're taking a look right here is what our Windows Endpoint Security product has, and we have endpoint products for Windows, Mac, Linux, mobile devices such as Windows Phone, Android, Symbian phones out there, tablets as well, and we also have server products running on Windows Server, Linux Server, Microsoft Exchange, just about everything out there. We can protect and manage it from one single solution using those same technologies across the board. Okay, so lightweight. Our entire install is about 150 megabytes. That's everything from start to finish, where you may have a solution today that downloads definition updates that are almost that big. Okay, while we're talking about those updates, our updates are very small. On average, they're between 60 and 120 kilobytes. That's kilobytes, the size of a Google search. Our updates are, and you get them 2 to 3 times a day. So keeping that bandwidth small, keeping our database small, lean and mean, is just one way to be able to be lightweight on our system. Okay? We also have CPU prioritization, meaning we let your other applications do what they have to do during your normal day-to-day. Everybody comes into work. I'm going to bet one of the first things they do is open up their email client, such as Outlook. Okay? That is a very processor-intensive application that Microsoft has deemed necessary to the business world. Okay? It also reads over 150 DLLs, which has to be scanned by an antivirus software every time it's launched. With our real-time file system protection, when any application is launched, we'll let it have the CPU it needs to launch. We'll take a back seat. We won't shut down. We'll continue scanning in the background, but we'll allow you to do what you need to do.
So does this do it, Rob? Is that automatic or is it customized? Can you say, hey, we know people are going to hit these things hard first thing, so we're going to schedule when we throttle it back, or?
It is all on the fly. So you don't have to worry about programming, okay, people are going to be launching Outlook between 8 and 8:30 every day or Monday through Friday. It will automatically handle that based off of the local system's load. Okay? So it's, again, lightweight. Think about it. Now I'm going to talk about ancient systems here. Windows NT 4, Service Pack 6, we still support. Our minimum system requirements run on a Pentium 3, 500 megahertz. Anybody got those laying around? We'll run on it. Okay, so you can imagine what we'll run on today, how fast we'll be on today's machines with dual cores, quad cores, hex cores, 8 cores, whatever you got, whether it be workstation or desktop, workstation or server. So very, very lightweight. That's the biggest thing you're gonna see today is small footprint. Even with that small footprint, we don't sacrifice any specs, anything of our protection. Okay. The next piece I'm going to touch on is proactivity, the proactive scanning. Okay. A lot of our customers are so used to, oh, if there's not a definition out there, we're not going to catch it. Okay. That's what they're used to, you know, because they're waiting for the XYZ AV company out there to put out a virus definition so that way it can find the latest virus that came down the pike 5 minutes ago. Well, most AVs are not going to have definitions that up to date. ESET takes a different approach. We still use definitions for those tried and true oldie but goodie viruses and malware out there, but we also have an advanced heuristic system. Heuristics is looking at the behavior of an application or a file. Okay? Every time a file is read, written to, or executed, so when it's accessed, that's when we're going to scan it. We're going to scan it against our definitions quick, and if it doesn't mean anything there, then we're going to allow the application or file to be opened up in a sandbox environment. We'll allow it to explode itself, meaning execute code or open itself up or read or whatever that the file is supposed to do, and then we take a look at its speed.
Are you just on that main screen? Or are you showing stuff in the policies? Because you're still just on the main screen from our side.
I'm on the main screen.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep, I'm going to be jumping right in here in a second here.
Oh, perfect.
We're going to open everything up in a temporary sandbox, and as I execute applications on this, you'll see that there's no hindrance. I can open up anything I need to, and it's not going to slow it down, even though everything that I'm opening up here is being executed in a sandbox environment, all sub-millisecond. But we're going to take a look at it. What is it trying to do? Is it trying to modify a piece of the registry that we have protected? If it does, we're going to block it before it even touches the operating system. So we're opening up in a protective sandbox. And by the way, we're not relying all on signatures. We're taking a look at the behavior. What is it trying to do? That lowers our false positive while also allows us to detect more items that come down the pike 0 day. So brand new viruses, even though there's not a definition out there for them, if it has a behavioral characteristic that matches other viruses, we're going to detect it ahead of anybody. Okay? So looking at our endpoint security product, you can see, again, real-time file system protection, watching what's on the disk. You have your web access control. When they're surfing the internet, we're going to scan everything that's downloaded, every flash file, image file, anything they actually click on or try and download one way or another. We're going to scan all that before it ever hits the system. And if it needs to, we'll break that connection to make sure no malware is downloaded. We'll protect your email clients. We have products such as our Endpoint Security that also has a personal firewall or desktop-level firewall that can be centrally managed. We also have a web control or web content filter that runs on the endpoint itself. A lot of you are familiar with different content filters out there that run at the perimeter. This one runs on the desktop machine itself. Okay, so no matter where they go, your rules still apply. So those are just some of the key features that run on our Endpoint Security product, which runs on Windows, again, NT4 and up. So a lot of great features in there. While we've already talked a lot about how lightweight this thing is, it's also fast. It has better detection out there than you can imagine because of that heuristics. But we're not sacrificing any speed for having those advanced types of heuristics. Most of you out there, think about what time of day do you run your scans. How many of you run them during the morning or during lunch versus how many of you run them on weekends so you don't get that support call saying your machine's slowing down. ESET you could run middle of the day, first thing in the morning, what have you, because again, we do that CPU prioritization. And we take a backseat to anything running on there. The user does not know what is happening. So if I launch up here, you'll see ESET is running. Everything's turned on. Everything's got green lights. I mean, no features have been disabled. And when we need to, we launch whatever we need up. I could even trigger off a scan just like I would a scheduled scan. You'll see my processor climb up, but then I can open up other applications, and it's not any slower opening up anything else. So again, CPU prioritization.
Hey, Rob, I'm only seeing your main screen. I'm not seeing you do anything, so all I'm seeing is just the setup original screen. There we go. Now I'm seeing you again. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So you can see the scan running.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm running a scan. You'll see the CPU climb up. If I open up other applications, they're just as fast as they were before, because you'll see us cycle down when needed to give the processor back to the application. So very quick and very fast and lightweight on the endpoint. Again, you can run your scans at any time of day without affecting your user's performance. The fourth item I want to touch on quick here is our unified management. Okay, everything checks in and is managed to one centralized console. Every product we have, whether it be Windows, Linux, or Mac, whether it be for servers, whether it be our gateway products such as our malware gateway that we can scan all web and FTP traffic inbound and outbound at your perimeter, whether it be an Exchange product. I have a couple of different products even checking in here. You'll see I have mail security, file security, which is for servers, endpoint security, which we just talked about. And if I take a look at some of these different things, I can change my views take a look at some more data if I really want to. Scroll all the way over to the side here, and you'll see everybody's checking into one screen. So I got some Windows servers, Windows 7, a couple of Linux boxes, and even an Android is checking into the same screen. So you don't have to have different portals or consoles, if you will, for the different types of products that we have.
And so what are you looking at? What's something interesting to you that you would pull up in this list that have you look at this?
The first thing that calls out to me is there's a different colored item on here that I would say this needs some attention. And you'll see if I go right onto it and highlight it, it says the operating system's out of date. We have the ability to look at that for you. But this interface is designed to have things call right out to you. Going along the bottom, taking a look at all the data that's collected, these are all the different types of threats that have been found within this environment. I talked before about catching the items with definitions versus heuristics. Again, you'll see a bunch of different in here, but then you'll see a variant of. That means that it did not meet a specific definition, but it was picked up by our heuristics because of a characteristic. And that's finding something before there's ever a definition out there. And that's why we're catching viruses long before our competition ever thought of it. So it's very quick, very efficient, but yet very proactive in its detection types. Okay? And of course, by default, we remove it from the system and quarantine it on the local machine. Along the bottom, you can see all the different things we collect. All the threat data, firewall information, issues in the event log, anybody who's surfing websites that they shouldn't if you're using our web control feature, our web content filter, our anti-spam detection, whether it be on our endpoint or on the Exchange server, the results of scan logs, and even an inventory of your tablets and phones, having information about them, including battery level, Bluetooth status, even what processes are running on them. So we collect a lot of information. And of course, just like any antivirus out there, no one is perfect. So you need a way to be able to restore a file if you need to. Say, hey, I know this file is a good one. I've tested it. Or if I haven't tested it, I can request a copy of it from the endpoint. And it'll pull a local one to the server that you can verify. If it's good, we can restore it right from here. And I can even exclude it so it won't be caught next time. And it's going to restore it right back to the machines the next time they check in. ESET works on a pull method, meaning each of the endpoints are timed or scheduled to check in on a timed interval. By default is every 10 minutes. When they check in, they get their instructions of what they should do next, any policy changes, and also they send up the statistical information about what has been caught on the machine since the last check-in. If you have road warriors, those people that take their machines outside the organization's network, you have the ability to have them check in as well, opening only one single port. By default, it's port 2222. Coming in over your NAT, they can check in and still be managed, no matter where they're at. So that's very simple. Now, when we talk about, what's it take to configure these guys, very simple. I'll go into our policy manager, and I'll take a look at what I have configured for my workstations. You'll see that I have child policy, so I have one master policy that everybody in the organization gets, but then I break down specific pieces for our workstations and servers. And this is all up to you how you want to configure it. Out of the box, there's approximately 1,200 settings per application that we have. Okay, but at the end of the day, when you install our product, we have already turned on ESET's best practices. So at that point, you would only need to change the features that are specific to your environment that don't work with the best practices. Out of the box,
give us
with
an
everything.
example of something that you guys have as a best practice that maybe some environments might not take advantage of or might not want to use.
Sure. It's not uncommon for some of our clients to uncheck the ability to scan a network drive. Okay. So by default, we scan every drive. Anytime a file is executed or read or written to, we're going to scan a file on it no matter where it's at. Some enterprises like to turn off the functionality of scanning on network drives, and the reason for that is if they're already protecting the server's operating system and all the local disks on the server, that file is being read and scanned already by the server's antivirus solution. So we wouldn't want to scan it twice. But by
Gotcha.
default, turn it on. By default, we turn it on, assuming that you may not have an antivirus solution on that server yet, or it might not be up to standard as ESET. So you can see in our configuration that we break out all of our different product lines, and I'm not going to go too in-depth on all of them, but I'll just open up version 5 for our desktop. You know, we can make changes to the firewall, web control, very simple. I talked about that web content filter. Simple as blocking a category such as social networking if that's something you want to do, or specifically calling out an allow. You can do that, and all of our configurations are very simple here. And then the next time the endpoint checks in, it's going to receive that configuration and it'll be applied and ready to go. If for some reason that endpoint cannot reach the management server for a period of time, it will use the last known configuration that it received until it checks in next. So very simple and straightforward once again. So all of our products, again, anything on any platform check into one central management solution, can all be managed from here. We have, again, we just talked about some of the configurations, so making it very simple. Those of you out there who have done some group policy work, very similar. Anything that has a blue box next to it means it's being enforced no matter what's on the endpoint. If it's in gray, we're leaving it alone. Very, very similar concept of thinking when it comes to group policy. Also, with our parent and child policies, it's very similar to group policy linking order when you're pushing out those different policies. If we want to take a look at all of the policy changes, so for instance, I want to see what's in the master policy and in the workstation policy, I simply hit View Merged, and it'll show me all of the settings that pertain to both of those. Very similar to an RSOP .msc on a Windows machine. So you can see all of the policies that are being applied and all the settings in each of those policies. So what kind of sets us apart from a lot of our competition when it comes to management is actually the deployment, how you get it onto those machines. Okay. Now, for a normal plain Jane install, meaning that there's no antivirus, no incumbent antivirus on the machine, you can push out any way that you can push out an MSI file. So from that standpoint,
push those files out, right?
Yep, so whether you use group policy, whether you use SACM, whether you use a login script if you want, you can also push from our software product if you choose. We have the ability to push out installs from here as well. But if you already have a method that you deploy software with, great. As long as it can handle an MSI file, we can set it up so it's pre-configured to know where to check in and get its settings from, and you're good to go. Very simple. Now, the thing that does not help is when you already have an incumbent AV on there. Because if any of you have ever changed AV products on your endpoints, you know that you can't have two of them on the same machine. They conflict with each other, and now it's very common for the vendors to make it so you can't install if another one is present. So what we have taken the stride to take care of that is we've developed a product called Rip and Replace. Rip and Replace is a productized service. It's very simple to use, and it deploys out the same way our product does. On this machine, I actually have McAfee running on here. If I open up the properties about, you'll see I've got 8.8 running on here for VirusScan Enterprise. And all we do, I'm going to execute it by hand, but this could easily be pushed out through group policy or whatever mechanism you use. It's going to execute it, and it's going to have one screen pop on me. After that, there's no way the user is going to know what's going on unless they're watching their taskbar. So there's my one screen pop. And then from here, you see the McAfee shield will eventually disappear. Windows already says, hey, your antivirus is having an issue. We completely remove the incumbent antivirus software 100%. Every file, folder, and registry entry, every driver it uses, we completely remove it from the machine. Then we install ESET on the same machine. And we do that all without a reboot and no manual touch.
Yeah, and I would say to further what Rob said, this is an awesome aspect of the ESET product line, and this product as a service. This really works. It really gets even. There's some endpoint solutions out there that hide files in all sorts of places that these guys find and get off there, right? It's not just the surface level. Everybody says, hey, we have an uninstall tool, but this really cleans everything out and prevents future conflicts.
Exactly. So while this is running here, and it takes approximately 90 seconds depending on the AV. Some take a little bit more time than other. But again, once it's done, ESET will be completely installed, and it will be checking in to my remote administrator server, which is the management console that we've been talking about. So very simple, again, to deploy onto a machine that has an incoming AV. And we rip any business edition AVs out there. So if you have, whether it be Symantec or McAfee, Trend, Kaspersky, what have you, as long as it's a business edition, we will remove it. If it's a home edition, that's not typically handled by rip and replace, of course. But we have done one-offs where people needed help getting rid of a home edition on a machine that somebody took home and did too. So we do have that capability. So this one's just about done here. Taking a look at here, it's just about finishing up here. ESET will pop up in the tray here shortly. But again, it can be all done, all completely automated. An example of where rip and replace can be helpful. I was actually just helping a government agency deploy before the holiday week here, and we did 1,700 machines between Mac and Windows endpoints. Not all of them were in the same location, and we did them overnight. And all we did was set up the policy and pushed it out. That was it. So we did not have to walk around and test each machine. We did not have to verify or any other steps. It just installed, worked great. And just so you know, rip and replace, because it's a productized service and it has a cost to it, it also is 100% guaranteed. That is one thing that we stand behind it so much, that it's a great service that we can offer you to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, we see it happen there right there in real time, which is cool. And is there reporting on that rip and replace that says, so I can just confirm all the list of my systems, or, I mean, maybe one system was powered off, right? It's hard to reach a system that is, has no power.
Depending how it's deployed, yes. If you use our deployment method, yes, we have that. If you use group policy, we have settings where you can write a log file to a Windows share somewhere.
Okay.
So you can see what machines have received the commands and which ones haven't.
Okay.
So again, the takeaways, because I don't want to eat up all your folks' time today, the takeaways are we're very lightweight. We run efficiently without requiring a quad-core processor just to run your AV. We're very proactive using those behavioral heuristics. We're fast, unbelievably fast on everything we do, whether it be our scanning, whether it be our updating, anything. And to pull it all together, in our unified management and deployment, we have simple ways to deploy your machines, and to manage them couldn't be any simpler, as we're seeing on our screen right now.
Cool. Yeah, that is awesome. Anything you else want to talk about in terms of management, or any other stuff you want to cover here?
Just kind of some of the bonus features for all those technical people out there, of course, running an enterprise. You may want to have somebody not have to log into this console to do their day-to-day work. We do have web dashboards, which are great for your help desk seats, and that we show a read-only version of that console in a web format, and it will self-refresh. So this is a great addition that we added to our most recent version of our management console. So you can see exactly what's going on, customize your dashboards to see exactly what you want. And it's all very great with granular detail or graphs. You can choose what you want to see, and it's all real time. So that's one great feature that we have for our administration people. Also, we can send data to a Syslog server, if any of you are familiar with that. So you can then aggregate through any information coming in about your machines. Great for enterprises that use those types of products. Again, we run on just about anything out there for system specifications and just about every operating system out there. So you can protect everything everywhere is kind of the idea from one central screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously we're very bullish on the product. Yeah, Rob, anything else you want to get in and show them today before I take back the reins?
I'll let you have it today.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that very much. You know, when you know, I look at the solution, right? A couple things that I like the fact that it's intuitive. It shows me what is going on. There's a lot of best practice stuff configured right out of the box. The automation stuff built in there is the automation that I want in terms of throttling bandwidth when scanning and understanding what's going on. But at the same time, just like Rob had mentioned, the best practice piece allows me to customize it and decide, hey, maybe I don't want to scan you know, a network disk or something else, right? Or I have something going on with my SQL server that I don't want this to touch a particular part of, right? A SQL database. But in any event, thank you so much. Hey, real quickly before we let you go today, I want to talk about software bundle that we currently have going on. Hopefully you guys have heard about the product CCleaner. It's been downloaded. The free version has been downloaded over 1 billion times. We sell the corporate edition, which is what you would actually need in a business environment that allows centralized reporting, and we believe is a great enhancement when you put it together with an endpoint solution like ESET. We have an exclusive bundle happening on that your rep is going to talk to you about that I think really helps not only, you know, using ESET, scan and protect and proactively protect your environment, but the CCleaner helps get the other junk off there, right? So that helps security in other ways. You don't have a bunch of erroneous files, personally identifiable information out there that you don't want sitting out on your network somewhere, whether or not it's secure. It might just be erroneous information that is better wiped off. So with that, make sure to chat with your account rep on that. And I will say thank you for taking the time to come to our web event today. We know that you have a lot of things on your schedule and that you carved out the time today. We truly appreciate that. Rob, fantastic demonstration. Love to see the technology in action, and you know, that's what we do. Let us know how we did. If there's something else you'd like to see, let us know. If there's something that we could present more effectively, we are all ears. So with that, I'm Todd Obert, along with Rob Lambert, signing off for the day. Have a great balance of your day, and have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.